Imagine this. You walk into a cafe in the morning and the barista asks if you prefer black coffee or with milk. Without thinking much, you respond, and life goes on. But what if I told you that this small choice could be a reflection of something much bigger? Something you didn't even realize was influencing your decisions. As if there is an invisible trigger shaping your response before the question is even asked. This is the basis of what we call priming. And the most intriguing, he is everywhere. From the layout of a supermarket to the color of the button you click on a website. You believe you're in control, but your mind may have already been prepared, directed, primate. Sounds scary or fascinating? Maybe both. Now think of a simple example. You're reading an article online, and next to the text, there is an image of someone smiling. This may seem irrelevant, but without realizing it, the subtle smile in the photo is influencing how you feel about the content. You feel more receptive, more open, more inclined to agree. Isn't it amazing or disturbing how something so small can shape your perceptions? And it's not just digital. Let's go back to the physical world. Have you ever noticed how the background music in a restaurant can influence what you order? French tunes on a menu of expensive wines, and suddenly you're choosing something you'd never normally buy. Does it seem like a coincidence? I guarantee it is not. And priming, the art of preparing your mind for a decision before you even realize it. Now allow me to go deeper. How does this concept affect your biggest decisions? We are no longer talking about coffees, music, or images. We're talking about your beliefs, values, and even how you see yourself in the world. How many of these choices were actually yours? Or rather, who is shaping the narrative behind what you believe to be genuine? The most fascinating, and at the same time disturbing thing, is that the priming, it is not just a manipulative tool. When used consciously, it can be a powerful weapon for changing habits, achieving goals, and even improving relationships. Imagine using the power of priming to prepare your mind to achieve what you most desire. It seems magical, doesn't it? But the big question is, if everything can be manipulated, how do you know what's real? And most importantly, how to take control of priming so that it works for you and not against you. Ready to find out? Let's explore this universe, where every detail, from what you see to what you hear, could be the key to unlocking potential you never imagined. And at the end of this path, you will no longer be the same. Because after all, when you understand what shapes your mind, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Welcome to the world of priming. Are you prepared? Let me tell you a story that might change the way you see the world around you. In a small London coffee shop, a simple experiment was about to prove the power of priming. On the counter, there was a tip box. For a week, they alternated between two images pasted on the front of this box. Some days, it was a photo of colorful flowers. In others, human eyes, staring directly at whoever was there. The result? On days when eyes were visible, tips soared. Why? Because our brain, primed by the feeling of being watched, encourages us to act more generously. It seems trite, right? But now imagine the impact of this on your daily life. You enter a clothing store, and without realizing it, the walls, painted in pastel colors, make you calmer, more willing to try on pieces. Or you are browsing a shopping website and notice that the buy button is strategically positioned in a prominent place, with eye-catching colors, encouraging clicks. None of this is random, and priming in action. Let me give you another example, a little closer to our emotions. a large supermarket chain carried out a curious test. They changed the layout of the wine shelves, placing French wines next to German wines. So far, nothing much, but in the background, they alternated days in which they played French music and others with German music. The result? When French music played, sales of French wines soared. When German music dominated the environment, the opposite happened. People didn't even realize they were being influenced, but their choices screamed the impact of the priming. And maybe you're thinking, okay, but that's a big company thing. How does this apply to my life? So let's talk about something even more personal. Imagine a bad day at work. You get home, exhausted, and decide to watch a motivational video. The video begins with an inspiring soundtrack, while scenes of achievements play on the screen. Before the presenter even starts speaking, you already feel something changing inside you. Your motivation increases, and that tiredness begins to disappear. And the priming emotional, preparing you to better absorb the message. Now, think about the opposite. You wake up, pick up your cell phone, and start the day reading negative news. Before you know it, you are already irritated, anxious, with the feeling that the world is falling apart. The day has barely started, and your mood has already been boosted by what you consumed early in the morning. What do these stories have in common? They show that the priming, it's everywhere, from a supermarket to how you start your day. And most importantly, they reveal that you can learn to identify and control these stimuli. Instead of being an unconscious victim of this power, you can use it to your advantage. Here's a challenge for you. In the next few days, pay attention to the details. How do the music, colors, and even smells around you influence your behavior? Try to notice the triggers, and if you want to go a step further, start adjusting the environment to your advantage. Choose music that increases your concentration, colors that calm you or motivate you, and see how small changes can transform your days. If this story impacted you and made you reflect, don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. This is more than a simple gesture. It's your first step toward creating an environment where you control stimuli, not the other way around. Together, we'll explore how small changes can yield big results. So what are you waiting for? Let's master the power of priming together. And don't forget, follow the brain. Now that you've seen the priming in action, it's time to understand how it really works, and most importantly, how you can use it to transform your life. The priming operates as a kind of mental shortcut. Think of your mind as a large archive of memories, emotions, and associations. Whenever you are exposed to a stimulus, a word, an image, a song, your mind quickly searches its file for something related to that stimulus. This happens in milliseconds without you even realizing it. And it is precisely this speed that makes the priming so powerful. Want a practical example? Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the word hot. Now, think about the first thing that came to your mind. Maybe you thought about coffee, a blanket, or even the sun. Interestingly, if I had said cold instead of hot, your response would have been completely different. Maybe ice, snow, or an air conditioner. That's it. Priming. Your mind has been directed before you even realize it. But how does this affect important decisions in your life? I'll tell you a secret. Priming. It doesn't just influence trivial choices, but also your long-term emotions and behavior. Think about how the words you hear daily shape your self-esteem. If you are surrounded by people who constantly tell you that you are incapable or insufficient, your mind begins to believe this, because these stimuli are repeated until they become internal truths. On the other hand, imagine if you started every day with words of encouragement, with images that reinforce your dreams, or songs that make you feel invincible. Your brain would be primacy to success, not failure. And here's something surprising. The priming can also be used indirectly. In a famous study, participants were divided into two groups. One group read words related to old age, such as slow, elderly, and calm. The other group read neutral words. When asked to walk to the end of the corridor, the first group walked more slowly, not realizing that they had been influenced by the words. It makes you wonder, how many of your behaviors are being shaped right now without you even realizing it? But perhaps you're wondering, if priming is so powerful, how can I use it to my advantage? Here's the good news. You don't need to be an expert in neuroscience to get started. It all starts with small changes in the environment around you. For example, if you want to improve your productivity, adjust the space in which you work. Try placing images or phrases that inspire you. Choose music that helps you focus, and keep only the items that really matter in view. This may seem simple, but these changes send subtle messages to your brain, preparing you for what's to come. Another way to use the priming. It's about building habits. Do you want to start exercising? Keep your running shoes visible and an alarm with upbeat music that reminds you of your goal. These small stimuli prime your brain to associate exercise with something positive. But here's the question that breaks the mold. What happens when you're not in control? When it is others, companies, social networks, even friends and family who are excelling your decisions? Are your choices really yours? This is the crucial point. Identifying when you're being influenced is the first step to taking back control. So here's a simple exercise. Over the next few days, observe the stimuli around you. What words, images, or sounds are shaping your emotions and choices? Carry out this analysis with curiosity, and if necessary, start replacing negative stimuli with positive ones. And remember, priming. It's not magic, it's science. And when you understand how it works, you gain an incredible advantage. It's like having a key to unlock doors that previously seemed unreachable. Now it's your turn to act. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share with someone who needs to know this transformative power. The more you understand and master the priming, the more you will be in control of your own story. Let's shape the future you deserve together, starting now. And don't forget to follow your brain. You already know that the priming influences your decisions, emotions, and behaviors. But now let's go further. How can you transform this understanding into practical action in your daily life? Get ready, because what comes next could change the way you see the world and the power you have over it. Let's start with something simple but revolutionary: the environment in which you live. Studies show that our brain automatically responds to surrounding stimuli. Research from the University of Exeter revealed that people who work in offices with plants or natural elements are even 15% more productive than those in sterile environments. Why? Because natural elements trigger a feeling of well-being and connectivity that prepare the mind for better results. Now look around you. Does your home or workplace reflect the emotions you want to feel? If you want more focus, eliminate the clutter. If you're looking for motivation, Add inspiring images or phrases in visible places. A board with your goals, or even a carefully chosen playlist, can be the trigger your brain needs to get into the right state of action. Now let's talk about the power of words. Not just the ones you hear, but also the ones you repeat to yourself. Imagine two people starting their day. One says, "Today is going to be a difficult day." The other repeats, "I will do my best and achieve what I want." Which one do you think will have the most energy and motivation? Research shows that positive affirmations repeated daily can help restructure your thought patterns, creating new neural connections that reinforce confidence and resilience. Don't believe it? Take the test. For a week, choose a phrase like, "I am capable of facing any challenge," or "I deserve success and happiness," and repeat it out loud in the morning. Notice how your energy begins to shift. Here's something practical and straightforward. Create routines for priming. Imagine you have an important presentation. Instead of getting straight to the point, take 5 minutes to listen to music that inspires you, visualize success, or repeat a powerful affirmation. This little ritual prepares your brain to act with more confidence. Great athletes have been doing this for years. Michael Phelps, the most decorated swimmer in history, wore priming daily. Before each competition, he visualized every movement in the pool, from start to finish. When it came time to compete, his body simply followed the script his mind had already rehearsed. If this works for an Olympic champion, imagine the impact it can have on your life. Not everything is about creating positive stimuli. Sometimes you have to break down the negatives. For example, if you notice that waking up and checking social media makes you anxious, replace that habit with something that empowers you. Read an excerpt from an inspirational book, do a guided meditation, or write down 3 things you are grateful for. Small changes can have big effects. And here's a provocation. What stimuli are you allowing to enter your mind? What type of news, conversations, or content do you consume? Remember, what you feed grows. Choose carefully. Adjust your environment. Create spaces that inspire and motivate. Use power words. Reinforce positive thoughts daily. Create rituals. Priming. Before any important task, use stimuli to prepare your mind. Eliminate negative stimuli. Replace habits that drain your energy with ones that boost it. Here's a surprising fact. Even the temperature can influence your decisions. A Yale University experiment showed that people who held a hot cup of coffee before meeting a stranger were more likely to describe them as friendly and trustworthy than those who held an iced cup of coffee. Subtle details like this shape our perceptions in ways we rarely notice. And if even the heat of a cup can shape emotions, imagine the impact of something deeper, like the habits and thoughts you have every day. We have reached the crucial moment. Now you have the knowledge and tools to use priming in your favor. The question is, what will you do with it? How can you tweak small aspects of your life to create a lasting impact? If this content made sense to you, here's the next step. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to continue exploring practical tools like this. Share with someone who might also benefit. Together, we can transform the way we see and shape our world. You already have the power. What's left is to use it. So why not start now? And remember, follow your brain. After everything we've explored together, one thing should be clear. The priming, it is not just an abstract concept. It is present in every corner of your life, influencing decisions, shaping emotions, and often defining the direction you follow. But most important of all, you are not a passenger on this journey. You have the power to take control. Think about everything we've seen, how small changes in the environment can increase your productivity, how simple words can strengthen your self-esteem, and how rituals of priming, they can prepare your mind for the biggest challenges. Now imagine applying all of this consistently. Wouldn't it be amazing to transform what once seemed random into something intentional, designed by you? Here is the answer to the question we raised at the beginning. How do you know if your choices are really yours? The answer lies in the awakening of consciousness. Each time you identify a stimulus trying to influence your decisions, you gain the power to choose. Control is in perception, and perception is born of knowledge. And speaking of choices, the time has come for you to make yours. What will change in your life from now on? Is it the environment around you? Will it be your morning routine? Or is it the way you deal with negative thoughts? Whatever you decide, take the first step today without waiting. At the end of the video, click on the video on the left to learn about the other 5 persuasion tactics. Or click on the video on the right to be taken directly to the other video on persuasion tactics. And most importantly, follow your brain. Now I want to hear from you. What was the biggest insight you gained from watching this content? What's strategy priming? Are you most excited to apply it to your life? Leave it in the comments. I'll love to know and interact with you. And if this video inspired you, like it and share it with someone who needs this message. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next content, because we still have a lot to explore together. Your journey of transformation is just beginning, and I want to be by your side every step of the way. Finally, a sincere thank you for taking the time to be here. You've just taken an important step towards understanding more about yourself and the world around you. This is powerful, and in the next video, we'll dive even deeper into how you can unlock your full potential. Get ready for the next chapter of this journey. Thank you for being part of this community. Until next time, and remember, the power to shape your future starts with the choices you make now. So choose to act, and remember, follow your brain.